Alright, you guys are lucky. How could the monk teacher get weirder? You guys are lucky that you didn't. If well, you may have, but I did a level 63 machinist quest right before this one, and I digressed a lot because it was my first video in like 6 days. So I talked a lot about a lot of stuff, like how I got to 63 and things I discovered that I didn't know about, and blah blah. But anyway, this is a level 63 Black Mage quest called Golems Gone Wild, given to us by Lalai. We are outside the Sacrarium, Milvaneth Sacrarium in Ulda. Here we go. Cutscene. Ah, mercy. Good. For better or for worse, it would seem Shatotto is still enjoying herself a peaceful slumber. In the meantime, my study of the books of Naldal has proven rather enlightening. In particular, I was surprised to learn that while the statue in Nald's reflection is a relatively recent construction, in historical terms of course, the goblet it holds in its hands is quite ancient. It would appear that it was within that vessel Mr. Shatotto's soul was sealed away. Master's records go on to state that the inner surface of the goblet is inscribed with a message in the glyphs of ancient Mahach. That's Mary H.A. Charlie H. Mahach. Mach, maybe? It reads, oh yes, here it is. The power of destruction did rend the baleful star, and peace doth reign near and afar. Yet 23 centuries hence shall it come anew, and certain doom is sure to ensue. A prophecy of sorts, it would seem. And something to know about Shatotto that I may or may not have mentioned in the 60 video is that, as far as I remember, in Final Fantasy XI, where I was introduced to her, and it may be the first time she has ever appeared in a Final Fantasy game, I don't know, but she rhymed literally every line. My memory isn't perfect, but from what I do remember, every line was a rhyme. It was like, it was A-B kind of rhyme scheme. Or it could have been AABB sometimes. I don't remember for sure, but she, the people who wrote for her did a fantastic job because it was just a bunch of rhyming. It was amazing. She was awesome. But anyway, this thing written inside of the gem or whatever it's called, I can't remember don't remember. Rhymes, which reminded me of that. It has been roughly 2,300 years since Shatotto founded black magic, which means it is entirely possible she herself left the inscription. But whatever sort of doom could the prophecy be referring to? I fear it is all rather cryptic. Lalai, and Mercy as well. I would speak with both of you at once, says a voice I don't know yet. It's, Zhai'a, the white mage, Makote man. While I would like nothing more than to catch up on old times, I come bearing grave tidings. My friends, pray lend me your aid. Well, if it isn't our favorite Gubu-headed hearer, I would have thought that seventh hell would freeze over before you cast your lot with purveyors of destruction. What have we done to deserve the honor of your groveling? This is no time for jest, Lalai. The situation is most dire. Why, a veritable horde of crazed golems has burst forth from the Lost City and is wreaking havoc on the Twelveswood even as we speak. We both take a step back. Whatever foul sorcery led them to abandon their orders and run rampant we cannot say, but one thing is certain. If we do not deal with them, and do so swiftly, there is no telling what damage they might inflict upon our forest home. That does sound like cause for concern. Very well, I suppose if it would not kill us to put the matter of Shatotto aside for the moment, and... Wait, no, not now. And she flails her arms, clasps her head hangs low. Still kind of hanging low, and it's up. Shakes her head a little bit. I say, how can the girl think straight with this ungodly fool's cap weighing her down? Or perhaps she can't, and that is why. But of course, it all makes perfect sense. Oh, hello there. Did you miss me and my prodigious intellect? Of course you did. Now, look, we haven't much time, so do try to keep pace. This surge of ether, just who, or what, are you? Says Zhai'a. Yes, I'm sure there's so much you'd like to know, but where would that get us? I've already heard all I need to know through the girl's ears. We are needed in the South Shroud. Yes, rampaging golems, was it? Rampaging golems, was it? Indeed. I have tasked a whaler named Alphine with looking into the matter. With any luck, he has gleaned some knowledge which might avail us in plotting a suitable course of action. Alphine, South Shroud. Yes, I believe the great Shatotto has all she needs. Well, come now. No point in standing around like gawping goboos when there's work to be done, right? Right. And she goes off. Shatotto, Mercy, I am most grateful for your aid, do not get me wrong, but if there is anything that you and Lalai have been keeping from me, mark my words, I will hear of it in full when our task is done. He leaves the scene, I watch him go, and I'll just teleport. 275, Camp Tranquil. No, I'll be free, it's fine. I could teleport for free for the rest of the game, probably. That was one of the things I digressed about, is doing weekly Blue Mage Masked Carnival stuff to get the gold reward and silver reward at least. Bronze is easy, but it doesn't give as much. But because 5 allied seals is a free teleport anywhere in the entire game. So like even if it costs 2,000 gil to teleport somewhere, free. And I have 98 of those tokens right now, maybe 97. No, yeah, 98 free teleports, and I can buy a bunch ton more. Bunch ton. Anyway, outside the entrance to the lost city of Omnipore, we find Alphine. And Shatotto is looking more like Shatotto now. She's got the hat off. You can see the blonde hair. Welcome, friends. You come seeking news of the Golems, yes? Would that I had any to give. I fear not a single one of the creatures has manifested itself before mine eyes. So you say, my good man, but it is possible that you do not see the trees for the forest? But, sometimes that which we seek is right before us, and we need only attune our vision. Why, is it just me, or do I spy a number of curious stone structures peeking out from the brush? Yes, I have an inkling that our foe may be hiding in plain sight. But just how is one to distinguish a living stone from the more ordinary type? Why, I do believe the former would take far less kindly to being scorched with a burst of hell's fire. So the plan is clear. Yes, let's get blasting. Zhai'a was here as well, but was not participating in that conversation really, just kind of watching. We head southeast, where there's a bunch of red circles. 3 to be exact. We're gonna blast this. There's like a golem on top of a stone pillar, and it's not moving. I have to click on it. Wait, what did I say? A curious structure of stone stands motionless before you. I have to fireball it, probably. I can't do that. What does it say? I can't read it. It's underneath this stupid freaking thing. Hold on. Fire 3 on the suspicious stones. Isn't that AoE? No. Where's my fire 3? Oh, the long cast? Great. Yeah, sure, whatever. Fine. And it didn't even give me fire? Fuck you. It sucks. I had to cast that long ass spell again. I didn't have to. I could have cast it. Came to life, 1 down. Stupid. Actually I'm gonna do this on the condor. It probably won't kill it. Another suspicious stone. Chain. Chain. Oh, come at me. This way I can cast back-to-back fire 3s really quickly since I'm in ice 3. So fire 3 doesn't consume anything. Fire 3 again. This time I don't have to worry about ending with ice. fly back to the north, to the entrance to the lost city of Omdapor again. And talk to Shatotto outside. Cutscene. That was fun, wasn't it? Now, while I'm not wont to repeat myself, it seems I should make an exception for the slower members of our band. You have the privilege of standing before the Archmage Shatotto, or rather, a memory of the same which has awakened after years of slumber to rescue your realm from a fate most dire. Slower? Lady Shatotto, if that is truly who you are, I cannot deny your arcane prowess, and yet there is much about this matter that does not sit well with me. Pray explain yourself. What is this dire fate of which you speak? Oh dear, you really aren't very smart. Very well, I shall begin from the very, beginning. Dear me, did I almost rhyme? Who does that anyway? Ha, got it. Anyhow, the tale begins some 2 millennia ago, when the great civilization of Mach, I'm going to just call it Mach, was still in its infancy. Our scholars ascertained that a mighty comet, awash with unspeakable ethereal energy, was on course to strike our fair home and reduce it to so much rubble. And so I thought to rectify the situation the only way I knew how, by blasting the foul rock out of the sky with the most powerful, destructive magic our realm had ever seen. This, more than anything, was what spurred me to developing the art of black magic as it is known today. Needless to say, my plan was a remarkable success. A massive chunk of the comet was shattered, knocking it clear off its path and sending it spinning harmlessly off into the heavens. The story, however, does not end there. Fragments of the meteor hurtled to and embedded themselves in the earth. While small enough that their impact caused no significant damage, they remained beneath the surface, brimming with etheric energies just waiting to be unearthed. Needless to say, these otherworldly stones drew the attention of mages far and wide, who sought to claim their powers for their own. These are the stones that gave the Golems their souls, by whose powers many a city-state flourished. And yet, these stones held yet further secrets. When 2 of them were brought together, they would call out to one another, ether reacting to ether to augment their mutual powers to still greater heights. Mind you, the power of mere fragments, even in a heightened state, would be far too meager to be cause for concern. One threat, however, still lingered. What if the comet, the mother stone as it were to return, its circuitous orbit bringing it in shouting distance of our world once more? Would not its remnants, its children, summon it hither in all its destructive glory? Preposterous! Did your vaunted black magic not knock the comet clear across the skies? Why, it is simply inconceivable that its new path would bring it around back in our direction. Sorry. Inconceivable to feebler minds, mayhap, but not my own. In fact, I posit that the comet is drawing nearer every moment, and it is for this very reason that the Golems are now running amok. If left unattended, the implications for this world would be calamitous indeed. Fortunately, you have an ally in the impending battle, a prodigy who foresaw the danger that was to come, and sent her memory into the future that she might return to save the day. Do you mean to say that you predicated that this threat would come, over 2,000 years ago, mind you, and devised an incantation for the sole purpose of allowing you to return to us in our time of need? Yeah, I do believe I've already said precisely that. Of course, I did not do it entirely on my own. The spell would have been lost to history if crazy old Kukuruka hadn't dug it up when he did and recorded it for posterity. Dear little Lalai and Mercy also played their parts as well. Oh, how wonderful it is when one's followers, against their natural tendencies perhaps, manage not to make an utter mess of things. I must admit, the whole story still strikes me as a bit far-fetched. I mistrust neither your motive nor your skill, Lady Shatotto, but as a healer charged with the protection of this wood, I cannot leave this matter to you alone. I will accompany you and offer what aid I can, but first let's return to Ul'dah. I would hear more of the plan you propose before we take action. Must you? Very well, just promise you will not get in our way. Now come along, my puppets. I have a realm to save, and you're going to help me. She walks between us. Takai? Zhai'a. Zhai'a follows after her. Cutscene ends. Balls. 275 teleports us back to Ul'dah. I broke 8 million gil. Probably yesterday or the day before. Pretty much doing challenges from the challenge log that I just found out about a couple days ago. So, I'm happy about that, although I don't really know what to use it for. I'm sure I'll use a lot of it when I start cooking. In fact, I've done some crafting on other characters, and I do know that it's a money sink for a while at least. But gosh darn it, I want access to some of the foods that just keep running out of inventory. Like, if I'm going to level a whole bunch of other jobs, and I'd like to have food for them. And it is annoying. Like, I've even world hopped to find food that doesn't cost ridiculous amounts of money. But yeah, that's the main reason I want to cook, and also kind of maybe like something to do here and there. We return to Shatotto with Zhai'a here. Did I say Zhai'a? When I don't know, a minute ago? I think I did. Whatever. The here assures me that there have been no Golem uprisings elsewhere, and since he clearly is too thick to tell a convincing lie, I am inclined to believe him. This means that we still have time to form a plan of attack. I do pride myself on my honesty, and so I will be honest with you when I say this. Your art is, to put it kindly, not looked fondly upon in our day and age, and your story stretches the limits of believability. We cannot stave off this calamity alone, but any entreaties you might make are not like to find a receptive audience. I, on the other hand, have friends in positions of some prominence. I shall reach out to them and see what aid they are willing to offer. How charming. He actually thinks he might prove himself useful. In your spare time, might you not ask your astrologian friends if they have any recent calculations on the comet's path? I have no reason to doubt the accuracy of my own, of course, but I was working off 2 millennia old data. As you wish. Forgive me for being forward, but might I inquire as to the well-being of our mutual friend Lalai? She is still in there somewhere, yes? Oh, she most certainly is. Worry not, the girl's consciousness is just enjoying a short respite. Which reminds me, I really am due for a nap myself. Be a dear and do try not to let things go to hells in my absence, will you? And she falls asleep, falls down. Shatotto, mother of the art that brought the great floods upon us, has she truly returned to deliver us from doom? Says Zhai'a, and the cutscene goes black. And we're back to Lalai with her hat on. The progenitor of our esteemed art has chosen me as her vessel in hopes of saving our world from a falling star. I can scarce imagine a greater honor. Come, Mercy, we must put our minds together and figure out how we might best do her bidding. Wait, Lalai, if we take her words at face value, Shatotto has only the realm's best interests at heart, and yet I, for one, remain skeptical. We both take a step back. Which is not to say I doubt her intentions, or yours for that matter, and yet we speak of the founder of the very art which gave rise to the War of the Magi and the 6th Umbral Calamity. Could it not be that even in seeking to save our realm, she is like as not to destroy it? Blasphemy! Why, Lady Shatotto had long since passed when the war broke out. Only a blind, blustering half-wit would even think to hold her responsible for. Though, when I put it that way... I understand this. And that is why I begrudge neither you nor her my aid, such as it will serve to protect the realm's peace. At the same time, I intend to keep close watch on her. One can never be too wary, after all. In any event, I will gather what knowledge I can of the threat we face, and I would be most grateful if you could do the same. Might I suggest speaking with your beastmen allies, if the idea has not already occurred to you, that is? He walks out of the scene. I swear, that man's head is made of harder stone than any golem. Still, at least he is cooperating with us, which is progress of some sort. In any event, I will reach out to our beastmen friends. I encourage you to return to your studies in the meantime. If one thing is clear, it is that the task ahead will test us to our very limits. Golems Gone Wild is complete. 103,000 experience points, 1480 gil. And no further cutscenes? Nope, we're good. Level 65 will be our next Black Mage quest, just making sure. Yep. That was it for this video. I will see you next time for the next one, or whatever mine you watch next. Bye-bye.